My favorite part about this trip was probably the homestays. I just found it really cool that like when we got here, we got to stay with someone who was our age, spoke English. I found it really cool because you see what life is like on the other side. It's very it's immersive. Like you see exactly what it's like. It's not like people telling you or anything. You get to live it for a few days, and it's fun. You get to hang out with them, do what they do. It's a cool experience. It really surprised me, like a lot of the American culture that was here. Like there was a lot of, while there were a lot of things that were distinctly Chinese, there was a lot of stuff that was similar to back home that kind of got brought over here. I found that pretty interesting.
My name's Alexander Aliyev. My favorite part about the trip was, while the China Wall, the Great Wall, was close, I'd have to say the homestays as well, because the concept of the homestay was it was very immersive, but the thing I enjoyed most about the homestay was the freedom that it allowed you to do. It allowed you to set up your own schedule, work around. If you didn't get to see what you wanted to see, that was your fault. And I thought that was pretty
cool. My name's Ashley True. I think that my favorite part of the trip was going to the Great Wall of China. I didn't really expect it to be what it was, I guess. Most of the time when you travel, you have really huge expectations, and I didn't want to do that for China because I didn't want to be proved wrong. And I still did come with those expectations, and they were well beyond what I thought they'd be. Probably a few things that I thought were hard to deal with when I was here was when I was in the mall one time, I was trying to find someone who spoke English, and I couldn't find anyone at all. So it's kind of interesting to get that perspective of someone who, of the fact that you are in the minority and you're not a person who is always on the inside. And so I really enjoyed getting that perspective. And I think I'll take that back to America.
My favorite part about the trip was the homestays. That was really cool. Being with the Shanghai family, and the food was great. And I really liked how we started off with it because I think it made me more comfortable with the fact that I was in China. The things I was most surprised by was, one, the extensive use of chopsticks. I don't know why that never clicked. I knew people use chopsticks, but I was like, it's okay, they'll probably have a fork or something, but no, I've learned how to use chopsticks very well. And then two, the lack of diversity. I mean, I've been out of the country before, and everywhere I've went there's been like a good mix, but here it's all Asians. And I was like, wow, I'm in Asia. It's like, okay, there's no black people. I saw a couple, so that was nice, but it was really interesting. I mean, being the real minority, people wanted to take pictures with me, and I was flattered. So yeah, it was cool.
Hi, I'm Joe Cool. My favorite part about China was the immersion of the food. I love food in general, but the experience of going outside the country and seeing all the different dishes and similarities between the different dishes here. In America, there's diversity throughout food. Like you have Asian food and Mexican food. Here, it's just all Chinese food. It's all pretty much similar. So that was really interesting to me. One thing I found really interesting was we'd be walking down the street and you'd be pulled off to the side just to take a picture with someone. That was really fun because that doesn't really happen in America. You see people of all different ethnicities walking around all the time. But here, white people seem to be really rare, and so everyone wanted a picture with us. That was fun. And then.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Root. My favorite part of the trip was going to this park in Shanghai. There were these adorable old people doing all sorts of activities all together, and they were this cute community. They had this it looked like a playground, but it was for adults, and they were doing little exercises on it. They had like weird plastic metalish elliptical things that were painted like little kid playground. It was really cute. I loved it. I also really liked how they were all doing like these cute little dances together, and some of them were doing Tai Chi with swords, which I thought was the coolest. and I loved that so much. They were all happy and adorable. And something that really surprised me was, I think, the way the traffic works here, because the cars and the buses and the bikes and the little moped things, they wouldn't move or stop for you. They would just, so it's like this weird little weaving trying to get through it, and it's kind of intimidating, but it's almost like, it's like Crossy Road at some points, but it's fun. I liked it.
It's Frogger. It's Frogger. Alright, I'm Allie Vaughn, and one of the most interesting things, no matter how touristy or like just like stereotypical it is like going on the Great Wall. Because I really didn't knowing like, okay, I was not smart at all when I was thinking it through, and I'm just like, oh, it's just gonna be like a wall and it's just gonna be flat. But then I forgot it was on mountains, and so it's definitely not flat. You can't just have a slope because things aren't gonna go well there. So I thought it was like really interesting. We were basically hiking on like already carved out steps. It was very steep, very strenuous. We worked out though. Like Charlotte said, I thought it was like one of the things I was really surprised with was the like all the cars, but especially how loud some things are. Because Charlotte, Van Orwick and I, our first day, we went with our homestays to the mall, and we went to this like really like kind of like fast foody like Chinese food, like westernized Chinese food, and we went to go eat there, and like they had this thing yelling at you. Like you'd sit outside the restaurant, they had like this thing that would yell at you, like if your number was up, and it was just so loud that it was so off-putting to me that I really wanted to leave. Because I was like, why are you yelling? Like it was a machine just yelling at you the whole time. But yeah, that was China.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Van Orwick, and I think when you travel anywhere, you have preconceptions about what the place is going to be like, what the people are going to be like, and everything that's going to happen there. And before I came to China, I was very, very interested in the history, and I was still super pumped about it the whole time. And that was something that did not change. I was very excited to go to each place and learn about everything that happened there. But the most important part to me was probably the homestays. I will hold Nancy and Irene in my heart dearly forever. I love them, they're very cute. They took us around the whole way, and they showed us what everything was, and they were very patient with us and helping us learn everything that we didn't know. And I really appreciated them. And I really just felt welcomed into their homes, and it was a very, very humbling experience to go and live with their families, and I really appreciated that. They told us about some of the stuff they did in Culver, and I thought it was funny to see their perspective of what Culver is like to them and our perspective of what Shanghai is like to us, and I just appreciated it very much.
Hey, I'm Tanner Cook. One of my favorite things here was the Great Wall. I mean, it was a lot of fun, like she said earlier. I mean, we were basically hiking across a wall. It wasn't like you could just walk back and forth casually. I mean, you were doing steps that were like 6 or 7 inches tall. It was crazy. And one of the other things I found really interesting was ordering food from a person who didn't speak English. So I mean, it's a bunch of like pointing and using the 2 or 3 words that I knew that were relevant in Chinese, trying to order exactly what I wanted. So that was definitely a new experience.
Hi, my name is Ian Smith, and the thing that I found most interesting about China was just how supportive and interactive the Chinese people were with us. You know, all the time on the street, even today, we were asked to take pictures by Chinese locals, and all the time they were asking us, you know, what we were doing here. And it was just really cool how supportive they were for us just to be here. And I think part of that reason, which is my next point, is just how many different aspects of our cultures are unique from one another, and from Tai Chi to the hot drinks that we were served, to even bargaining for common goods that we would buy. And I thought it was really cool how open and interested they were in us, and you know, we reciprocated that interest to them.
Paige Murphy, and favorite thing about China was either the homestay or going to the park, because I really love meeting all the kids from SY, and I love meeting the girls and getting to know them and staying with their family and knowing what their home life was like, and then going to the park and being able to dance with the people there and see what their mornings are like was a really cool experience. The most surprising thing for me was the fact that I know on multiple occasions me and my friend were really trying to find a bathroom, but we couldn't, and we had a lot of trouble because no one speaks English, but that's okay. But yeah.
Hi, my name's Hannah Farmer. Some highlights of my trip were probably my favorite one was hiking the Great Wall with my little brother here. I'm really happy he could come with me on this trip and we can experience this together. Another highlight was just exploring the park in Shanghai, and me and Paige were we joined in on the dancing classes, and it was just so happy to be in a place where people were just so full of energy and happiness, and that really gave me a lot of energy. So something that really shocked me about this trip was the food. I'm kind of a picky eater, so coming to a place where the food's really different than American food, that was kind of a struggle for me, but I tried, I went out of my comfort zone and tried the food that I wouldn't normally eat, and surprisingly some food was actually pretty good, so that's what surprised me most. What?
I'm AJ Farmer, and the most favorite part of the trip was probably the Great Wall. It was really fun, just hiking the Great Wall, and I was really surprised that it wasn't I thought it'd be bigger, wider, but it was still really fun. And another highlight was the food. I was really I thought the food was gonna be really bad. I thought I was gonna starve over the trip, but I ended up not, and I thought the food was really good. So very cool.
Hi, I'm Miss Harding. I've been to China many times before. I lived here for a year, but I hadn't been back to China in 5 years. So it was really nice to come back and actually see where I lived before. It felt like coming home in a lot of ways. It was nice to be able to hear the language all around me and to be able to use the language again in everyday situations. It was great to bring a group of students who had never come to China before, and the group was a lot of fun. I think everyone enjoyed themselves for the most part, and it was fun, and I look forward to the next trip. So.
Okay, I'm Mr. Tulungan, or you call me or you know me by Papa T. Okay. The most important and interesting thing that I learned from this trip is that coming back and looking at China through your eyes. Yeah, I see differently. Even though I already know and learned China many different trips ago, but every time I come here, I see different China through your eyes. So that's the thing that is most interesting for me. And also, it's like a new chapter of the book in my life that I will treasure the most, that I learn and have a new chapter in my book about China based on the way you look at China. So that's the thing that I always enjoy, coming back to China with my own perception, but I look at it differently from your eyes. I hope that at the end of this trip, at least you finish the first chapter of China for you, book of China for you. The first chapter you will be able to finish it. So that next time you come back and then you write the first chapter of China in a different section of your life. Yeah, That's what I hope for. Just like Jake Kurtzel, you see, when he came here, or when we came here, he has a different introduction of China. Now he is going through 2 or 3 chapters of his life, and I really enjoyed it very much. So thank you very much for